Hey Greg, let's talk bourbon. All right, I know I haven't released a video in a while. Sorry about that. Had a lot of stuff going on in my life, including, unfortunately, my mom died. So, a lot of things going on, and maybe my life is changing a little bit. But I wanted to put out a video today because I am motivated about this issue. And that issue is Elijah Craig 18 year. So, I have here, I've been tasting side by side here for a couple days. We've got the Elijah Craig barrel proof, the B525, and as I said, this Elijah Craig 18, which is a single barrel. Now, the B525 is 126 proof, whereas the 18-year-old here is only 90 proof. That's some of the issue, but of course the barrel proof here is not a single barrel. I gotta tell you, it's really no competition here. The barrel proof B525, and I know the B525 is one of the better releases that Elijah Craig has done lately. I'm aware of that. That being said, this is fantastic. It is an absolute brown sugar bomb with a little bit of that leathery earthiness behind it, but it's just boom, really front and forward, the brown sugar flavor. It's fantastic. The Elijah Craig 18 is a lot more of the leathery earthiness, and it's very light on the sweetness. It's not very sweet at all. It does have a little bit of that brown sugar there, but it's way in the background. And so as a result, I like the $75 Elijah Craig barrel proof a lot better. I mean, it's not even close. A lot better than I like the $169 Elijah Craig 18. I don't even think it's close. So the question is okay, is the Elijah Craig 18 bad, or is it just simply not as good, right? So I'm going to put it to the test today. I just couldn't not do this, and I just had to do it as a video and put it out there for anybody who wants to watch it, because, you know, I am not that happy here about this Elijah Craig 18. All right, so I'm going to put this B525 aside, and I have here a blind of 7 bottles. It was going to be 6. I had them organized from lowest price to highest price. Decided at the end, I really need to throw Eagle Rare 10 in there. I'll explain that in a minute. But I am putting the Elijah Craig 18 up against a bunch of bottles here that are between $40 and $65. And some of them I think are really good, and some of them I think are kind of ordinary. And I did that intentionally. I wanted kind of a range of quality bourbons here to kind of see where the Elijah Craig falls in. Now, hopefully, the Elijah Craig 18 will be the winner of this blind and be better than all of these. Hopefully, that'll be the case. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be. I'm worried here that this Elijah Craig 18 is going to fall in the middle somewhere amongst these bottles that are $40 to $65. I think that might happen. So, that's what we're going to see here. That's what we're going to blind out. So just to show what else we have here, I have here a Penelope rosé cask. Again, I remember I said that the Elijah Craig 18 was 90 proof. I think that's part of why it doesn't do as well, is because it's only 90 proof. So I wanted to make sure that everything here was not too proofy. So we have got a couple of bottles at 104. Well, actually, I think it's this here and here. These two are at 104. These two are at 100. This is at 94, and this is at 90, right? So that's why I wanted to throw the Eagle Rare in. At the last second, I decided to put it in because it is at 90 proof, the same as the Elijah Craig 18. So anyways, they're all kind of lower proof. I have nothing big, high proof here. And so back to the Penelope rosé cask. It is going to be my only finished bottle in here, but I really wanted to throw it in because I got this from my son as a present. He's a big fan of Penelope. I like the bottle a lot. I love the rosé-ness. I don't know if I'm going to be able to taste it in this blind or not, and if I'll be able to pick it out and say, oh, that's the Penelope. I guess we'll see. But I did want it in here also, one, because I've never blended it before, but also because it is only 94 proof. And so it's close to the 90 proof here of the Elijah Craig. So I wanted to throw it in. We also have here Bardstown, their wheated bourbon, Origin Series, 100 proof. Very good stuff. Only $40. We have Four Roses, their select, their batch select, I forget exactly how it's worded, but it's a blend of like 5 of their bourbons. And I believe I bought this guy for like about $55, I think. I think maybe it's a little more than that now. I have Henry McKenna 10-year. I think I got this for like $59, and it's at 104 proof. We have the Old Fitz 9-year, 100 proof, bottle and bond. Very, very good, very tasty. It's about $65. And then over here, my late entrant here is the Eagle Rare 10-year. I do have the 12-year upstairs. Thought the 10-year was more appropriate for this blind. So the Eagle Rare 10-year, it's 90 proof. It used to be $40. Now I think this is $45. And so we've got these lower price bottles, similar proof level, and we're going to try it up against a $169 bottle. In fact, it's even still got the price tag on it. I don't know if you can see that, but it says $169.99. So we're going to try it up against there and see how it goes. What are my predictions of this? Well, like I said earlier, I'm worried that the Elijah Craig is going to fall somewhere in the middle of this bunch. And like I said, I have different feelings about some of these different bottles, and I did that intentionally to try to make a range. And so we'll see where this Elijah Craig fits in. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully it'll actually win this blind and tell me that, you know what, it actually is pretty good. Hopefully it'll do that. But otherwise, what am I thinking here? While I love Eagle Rare, and I wanted to put this in because, everybody knows Eagle Rare, right? Eagle Rare has never really blinded very well for me. I think part of that is because it's 90 proof, even though I love drinking it. So I don't know. It could finish near the bottom. We'll just have to see how that goes. The Penelope Rosé cask, I really like it. Also, though, I do know that it is kind of soft. And I worry that while that softness is really nice when I'm drinking it, I worry that in a blind against some of these stronger bottles, that it might kind of get lost. So I'm kind of worried about how this one might place. The Bardstown wheated bourbon, man, this is a really good bottle. I think this is going to do well. These two bottles here, I think, are going to kind of finish somewhere in the middle. I think these two are kind of more ordinary. So we'll see how they fit. And the Old Fitz, I really like the Old Fitz. I think it's going to be near the top. I don't know if it's necessarily going to win, but I think it'll be near the top. So there we go. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And let's figure it out. So I have not marked these bottles 1 to 7. I'm going to push them aside here in this order. And that corresponds to stickers on the bottoms of these glasses. And these glasses are already all mixed up. And they've been out for, I don't know. They've been sitting out for about 30 minutes. And so I've got here 7 glasses all mixed up. I can't read the number when I look through. I can see the sticker, but I can't read the number on the sticker. So I have no idea which glass is which. I just know that these liquids are in these glasses. That's all I know. So here we go. We're going to give it a try. For the Elijah Craig 18, Is the Elijah Craig 18 not good for $169? That's the question. Here we go. Glass A. I refer to these glasses as A to G, I think that is. Nice. Honey. Maybe a honeysuckle. Kind of strange for a bourbon to have a little honeysuckle. Trying to decide that I get a floral note. and I don't know, is that just a normal floral note or is that the rosé cask? I'm not sure. It'd be weird that the first glass I pick up is the rosé cask, but anyways, I get a floral note. And it kind of dominates. That honey and floral is what I get. Anyways, come back around. Glass B. This smells more like a standard bourbon, although I have to say that it's weaker than Glass A was. The nose is noticeably weaker. I smell a little bit more deeper notes in this bourbon. More of a caramel. Maybe, do I get kind of a graham crackerish kind of note to it? Maybe. I also think I get some leatheriness. Now, of course, that note is in the back of my head because I know that Elijah Craig is out here, and I know that Elijah Craig, it doesn't have much of a tobacco flavor to it, but it does have that real leatheriness to it. So that's in the back of my mind. And am I going to just find leather in a bunch of different glasses? I don't know. But it does smell nice, but it is, like I said, it's a little on the weak side. Glass C. Well, this one is also light on the nose, but it's also sweeter. This is like vanilla and banana bread and icing, maybe. I don't know. It comes across as very sweet, but also rather light on the nose. Glass D. Okay, this one's got a little more power to the nose. It's also a little fruitier. Well, I get some caramel. I'm trying to place the fruit. It's definitely kind of more of a... See, I don't know. I'm getting it all over the place. At one moment, I'm thinking an apple. And another moment, I'm thinking a melon. And another moment, I'm thinking, no, it's somewhere in between, more like one of the stone fruits, It's definitely fruity, though, with some caramel. All right. Glass E. This is nice. I like this one. It's strong on the nose. And it just gives you that delicious bourbon kind of note to it, man. I mean, it's just right down the middle. I mean, it's got caramel, but it's also got vanilla. It's got cinnamon, which is a little different than I've been smelling earlier. Maybe a little breadiness to it. Yeah, I would definitely say there's a breadiness to this. And there's a little bit of fruit to it. somewhere between a pear and yeah, I guess I'm going to go with a pear on that. It's got a lot of different notes going on. It smells like a classic bourbon. It just so far that's the best nose. All right, glass F. Okay, now we're back to something that's a little lighter on the nose. Actually, I'm wondering if this isn't the rosé cask. Because I'm getting a floral note and it's really dominant. And I'm having a hard time getting anything else. Maybe a little fruitiness to it as well. So I know I said A, I thought maybe could be a rosé cask. I'm also thinking F could be the rosé cask. I don't know. I don't get a lot of notes in this. It's nice. It's nice. I just don't get a lot of notes. What am I at now? Glass G. Yeah, this one is more moderate in terms of its strength of nose as well. None of these, I mean, there's a couple of them that have been a little bit stronger. All the rest of them have been kind of that moderate to light nose. I guess I should, expect that, right? Because everything here is 104 to 90 proof, right? Nothing here is super powerful. So, all right. Okay, I get some spice to this one. Along with some vanilla, but it's real spicy. I wonder if this is going to be oaky. Can't necessarily tell in the nose, but usually sometimes when you get that spiciness, it ends up being oaky. We'll find out. Maybe also there's a touch of breadiness to it, and there's also a touch of fruit to it. Like a tangerine or something. But, all right. So that was the first time through. I think I said that E was my favorite of this. I think I said that A and F were my possibilities for the rosé. I think I said that, was it B? Was it B that I thought was more on the leathery side? Okay, which kind of makes you think possibly Elijah, but I don't know. Things change a lot when you get it on the palate. So let's get it on palate and let's try it out. Glass A. It's nice. There's definitely some vanilla. I think I said honey before, but I kind of, on the palate, it's more of a vanilla. Yeah. The floral doesn't necessarily come through on the palate. A lot of vanilla with maybe a little bit of cooking spices to it. Maybe a touch of breadiness. It's good. I enjoyed that. All right, glass B. This is tasty. It's a little darker on the register from the last glass. It's more of a caramel. I think I said that the nose was light, but it's got good strength on the palate. I'm trying to place what I want to call these other notes that I'm tasting. I mean, yeah, I could call it leathery. I could. There's also a little acidic note to the end of the palate. That is the one thing I'm not liking. So it starts out with some really nice sweetness. Is it caramel? A brown sugar? Somewhere in there. It does kind of have a but it's quite sweet. But then it dives into this earthiness, and then there's kind of a bitter note at the end. Not liking the bitter note. I like earthiness. The bitter I'm not a fan of. All right, glass C. Wow. Vanilla. Vanilla. Yeah. Lots and lots of vanilla. A little bit of cooking spice. That's what I get. It's pretty simple. Very tasty. All right, glass D. By the way, what I just said about this glass makes me think about one of these bottles. I don't know if I'm right or not. A little stronger on the nose. It's fruity on the nose. It's fruity on the palate. It does have some vanilla, right? Sweetening it up. But it's... I don't know if this is the one that I said melon before, but there's a sense of melon to this. And lemon. I'm getting some really strong, like, lemon bar between the vanilla and the lemon. Kind of getting like a lemon bar vibe. That's tasty. By the way, there was also a little bit of cooking spice to it, but lightly in the background. Anyway. Glass E. Yeah, this one's got a beautiful nose. Strongest nose, beautiful, best smelling nose. That's a beautiful nose. Well, it's also got the strongest flavor. It's also the strongest on the palate. Tasty. Fruity, sweet. Vanilla. But the fruit, I know I just said melon in the last glass. Sometimes those thoughts carry over from glass to glass. That's why later on in this blind, I'm going to be going back and forth and mixing up the order, because that happens. But I'm getting a little melon again. A little citrus. Yeah. I don't know. I know the notes that I just read off for these last for D and E were very similar, and I think that is what they are. But But the E is the better version of it. Stronger, crisper notes. It's really good. All right. F. Yeah. I think this is the rosé cask. It's really nice. I mean, if I were to tell you what note does it taste like, well, it tastes like rosé. That's what it tastes like. What can I say? It's very floral. It's kind of got a rosy kind of note to it. There is some sweetness there, but it's not a lot of sweetness. There's like a little bit of confectionery sugar on top, kind of a thing. But otherwise, and maybe a touch of vanilla. But otherwise, it just hangs out in that floral range, and that's what I think it is. All right. Of course, watch this. I'll be wrong, and will have made a fool of myself, but that's how it goes. You know, I just call them as I see them, and I can't help what thoughts run through my mind. And, you know, if this was a double blind where I didn't know what bottles were in it at all, you know, it would be a little different, right? But I think my blind, though, will be sufficient to be able to tell where that Elijah Craig 18 lands. Nice nose. For Glass G. Fruit forward. Also, spicy. I think I said that last time. When I was just on the nose, I think I mentioned it was a spicy nose. Yeah. There's a little vanilla. And a lot of these kind of, I know I didn't mention it all the time, but some of the sweeter ones do have a touch of confectionery sugar to them. But since it's been light, I haven't really necessarily mentioned it. I think it's kind of here too. There's like a touch of confectionery sugar on the top. But for the most part, the sweetness is vanilla. But it's a deeper vanilla, though. It's not into the caramels. It's in the vanillas. But it's like almost down into like a buttercream. It's more of a butter. I think I like that better. I think I'd rather call that note a buttercream. And then it's fruity and it's spicy. Yeah, that buttercream kind of dominates, though. I'm having a hard time. Like in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what fruit is it. And to be honest with you, that buttercream is so prevalent, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what fruit is that. So, all right, I'm going to have a little cheese. And we're going to try to figure this thing out. Gone through one time each. The only standout, after going through it once, as you probably will have guessed by my commentary, is Glass E. I thought E was the best glass so far. That doesn't mean it'll finish in first. Sometimes things change. But especially when you change the order of glasses, sometimes that makes a difference. But the standout for me right now is E. And to be honest with you, I don't know if any of them, I don't know if I was disappointed with any of them. And really, to be honest with you, if I was disappointed in something, it was probably B. So, but even then, B had its interesting points. You know, the only thing about B that the reason why I say that is because it had that note at the end, the bitter note. There we go. I was going to say sour, and I said no, and it's not sour. It's bitter. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the order. I'm going to bounce around here. I might skip E, and I'm going to try them all, and try to pick out at least 3 of them that I think aren't as good as the others. Yeah, there's that bitter note. Well, I like that C, and I kind of like that G, and I kind of like the A. I thought the B was less. I thought the F was less. I'm going to throw the G out there. I think the D might be better than the G. Yeah. All right. So I think the B, F, and G are perhaps my weaker 3 bottles. Weaker 3 bottles here. All right. I didn't get the bitter note that time. Let's try this. Sometimes it takes a little cheese to help separate things. This is really pleasant, but it's not as complex as most other things up here. And it's soft. And that time I got a little bit of that bitter note at the end. Yeah, G is better than these 2. My bottom 2 are going to be B and F. Just trying to be fair to them. Give them a chance here. Make their case. This one has a lighter nose. This glass B has a lighter nose. It's not very sweet. It's got that sweetness in front, just some kind of weird earthiness, and then sometimes a bitter finish. This one's tasty, sweet. It's just kind of simple. Because if I'm right, the reason it's simple is it's being dominated by what it was finished in. I gotta go this way. I'm going B in 7th place. And I'm going to go F in 6th place. All right, so far we have B out in 7th and F out in 6th. I thought that G might be less than some of these. I'm going to bring it back. I'm not so sure. G actually was pretty good. I think at this point, I hate to say this, I think those 2 glasses were noticeably not the same or not as good as the others. And then these 5 are all pretty good. And there's at least 3 or 4 of them, I think, that are about at the same spot, about the same range. And it's going to be hard to pick between them. And I think that's where I'm at now. So I think the next, 3 glasses are going to be all about the same. And it's going to be, a pick 'em. So, here we go. I'm going to try A again. Oh, God. That really has a nice nose. It really does. Sweet. Apple. It reminds me of going into going up to Door County into one of those places where the farmers, sell their orchard stuff from the orchards, and they've got apple pies made and jams made and stuff like that they're selling. It smells like that place. It's sweet. It's fruity. This one, the nose is light. Palate is nice. A little bready this time. I like that D. Sweet, stronger, fruity. That's tasty. Whatever that is, D is tasty. Okay, I got to be honest about something. E is powerful, right? Compared to everything else up here, E has the strongest nose, it has the strongest palate, it's complex, so it's a strong contender. But I'm not sure it's going to win. Because I actually enjoyed the D that I had before it a touch more. Even though it's not quite as strong, it was good. It was really good. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. All right. I'm thinking A and C are on that next run. I know coming out of the box after my little water break that I thought A was really tasty, or in particular on the nose. I had just had a break. I had just eaten a bunch of cheese. Now when I come back and mix it up, it brings it back down to earth. I don't know if I'm right or not, but C reminds me of Eagle Rare. I'm clueless about A, though. No ideas at all. It's good. Fruity, sweet, but it's the finish. It's the reason why I pushed it forward. The finish is the back of the palate. It's kind of a letdown. A little bit. I have to be picky here. So, I'm enjoying the front of the palate on A more than I am on C. But I'm enjoying the back of the palate on C more than I am on A. Yeah, that C, it's kind of simple. There's only a couple of notes there. 2-3 notes. But it's consistent, and it just kind of lasts. It's got a nice length of, the finish there. It just lasts. So while it's sweet and simple, touch fruity, it's nice. And I like that. It does have a very weak nose, though, in comparison to everything else, though. Has the weakest nose up here. This was very fruity, a little sweet. But that finish kind of just dies and gets a little, not as bitter as B was, but there's a touch. It's a little there. It is. It's kind of dives into, not such a great note. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no clue. I have no guess on what this glass might be, but I'm going to put A out in 5th place, and I push C back. Give it another shot. Yeah, my wife, she likes her spicy food, and that's what I had for lunch. So, give me a hard time here. You know what else this reminds me of? Before I said it, I should have had the name fully in my mind first. Yeah. I'm going to have to cut this because I can't remember the name. I almost looked at it. I was wiping the water off the counter. And I'm like, oh, did that get on my sticker? Right, because I can make my numbers run. And I almost looked at it. I caught myself before I did. All right. Going out in 4th place is glass D. It's good, but I'm getting real picky here. It's not quite. It's sweet. It's fruity. It's good. It's not standing up to the others. It's starting to, I know I've talked about this in some of my videos, where when you start going back and forth, you'll notice that like one glass will just kind of start to fade. Won't be able to keep up with the others. That's what's happening here to Glass D. So, Glass D out in fourth place. Little cheese. All right. We're down to 3 glasses. What are my thoughts? Well, I think C might have outrun its place here. I think C is probably going to go next. And I think E might actually pull this out. But C it doesn't have much of a nose, but on the palate, it's nice and sweet. It's a really nice sip. It really is. And G is just solid. It really is. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's a little spicy, but it's not too spicy. I was worried it would be oaky. It is not oaky. It's good. I don't know what it is. No clue what it is, but it's good. That's tasty. That's gonna be hard to beat. And it's stronger, right? It's stronger on the nose, stronger on the palate, so it hits you, boom, flavor, right? You know, and that's hard to ignore, right? And if I recall, when I went through this the first time, I believe I had more notes for E than I did for anything else. It's complex as well. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a perfect pour or anything. I'm sure I've got bottles around here that could beat it, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, this is a really light nose. And that's a nice strong nose. And by, process of elimination, this is a very moderate nose, right? All right. I gotta go. I gotta just call balls and strikes. I gotta call it as I see it, right? That's what I gotta do here. I am liking G less and less, and I'm gonna give it one last chance here with some fresh cheese. This C, despite the light nose, just keeps moving forward. It's so nice and sweet. But I'm going to give G one last try here. See, after a reset, yeah, it's nice. Sweet. Buttercream again, right? It's got that buttercream, it's got that fruit, it's got that spice. And that's like drinking vanilla, frosting or something. It's tasty. Hey, what can I say? I do like my sweet bourbons. I do. I don't know. All right, this is where I'm going. What can I do? I'm going G out in third place. I'm going C out in second place, and I'm giving E the win. There it is. That's what I'm doing. I think I was fair to all the glasses. I gave them second and third tries. What do you do, right? I worry, and I am worried, because the one that I envisioned having that leathery earthiness was glass B, and I put it out first. I put it out in seventh place, right? I might be wrong, and I'm hoping I am wrong. Because I don't really. I thought Elijah Craig 18 might finish in the middle somewhere, which is bad enough. But if Elijah Craig 15, if Elijah Craig 18 finished in last place, I'm gonna be pissed, right? I mean, I spent $170 on that bottle plus tax. On the other hand, maybe I got I'm off, right? And it's one of these other glasses, and it could be. I actually kind of hope it is, because I don't want the Elijah Craig 18 to be in last place. I don't want to have to admit to myself that I got taken. And I don't know. You go to Heaven Hill, right? Right there in Bardstown, and it's on the edge of town there. What is that? The southeast side of town. You turn right there at the McDonald's and go down the street. I forget what street that is. Anyway, they've got all their bottles nicely displayed in the case and everything. And these, Elijah Craig 18s, prominently displayed. And it's like, oh, yeah, got to get one of those, right? All right, well, let's see it. Let's see if that's what happened to me here. In seventh place, glass B. I'm afraid to look. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's something else. Ooh. Ha! It is something else. So, there we go. I was about to have to say that Elijah Craig is awful. And I didn't want to say that. I spent so much money on it. And I love Elijah Craig. I really do, right? This B525 is absolutely fantastic. Like, I can't wait to blind this against something. It's really good. All right. Whew. All right. It's not the Elijah Craig. I'm not actually surprised by the answer, though. This bottle is still a surprise, but now that I see what it is, I'm not that surprised. It is glass 5. Old Fitz number 9. Number 9. 9 year. Right? What am I thinking? Like Jack Daniels number 7? Anyways. Old Fitz 7 year. All right. Out here in last place. Shocking. Okay. $65. I tried hard to get this. I had to go out several times to track this bottle down. When I was in Kentucky around Father's Day last year, when this was coming out, I couldn't find it anywhere in Kentucky. I got back to Wisconsin. Within 2 weeks of getting back to Wisconsin, I was able to find it at one of my, local places. They only got one bottle a week, and I managed to get there just as their deliveries were coming in, and because I know they get their stuff delivered on Tuesdays, and I got there and I snagged it right away. And while I was buying it, somebody was calling to see if they had it. So, anyways, this was I put effort in to get this bottle, and I like this bottle. Holy smokes! Last place. Last place. I'm actually not that surprised, because to tell you the truth, I like it. It's a little different. But yeah, you know, it is a little different, and I'm not surprised it lost. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. I'm still trying. My mind is still trying to process this. Right. I'm just glad it wasn't the Elijah Craig. So that means I don't know which glass is the Elijah Craig. So that's what that means. I know that the Elijah Craig kind of had this. Well, this one here is just an absolute brown sugar bomb with a little bit of leatheriness to it. Whereas this one here, I always thought, you know, was more on the leather and less on the brown sugar. And that's why I didn't like it as much. But, hey, it's still out there somewhere. Still out there somewhere. All right. In sixth place. And this is the one that I thought smelled like rosé. I still think it smells like rosé. Let's hope I got this one right. Glass, what was this? E? No, F? Yeah, this is G. Let's move this further over. Glass F. Number one. I did get it right. I did find the rosé. I know it's only a $40 bottle, right? I like it though. It's really tasty, but I have to say that the rosé cask flavor overwhelms the rest of the notes in the whiskey. It pretty much just tastes like the rosé cask. It's sweet, it's floral. There's really nothing else to say about it. So it's good. I really enjoy it. But I think its simplicity is the reason it went out in sixth place. All right. In fifth place. This is a glass that I had no idea what this bottle was. I liked it at times. I thought it was, at times. All right. Glass A. Wow, there it is. There it is. That's number 6. The Elijah Craig 18. It's good. It's good. I said it would be kind of like right there in the mix with a couple of other bottles, and it was. But it costs $169. To say that it's in the mix with the next 2 bottles that I pull off here is not good. All right. Let's go on to number 4, shall we? Number 4. Another glass that I had no idea. Glass D. Number 7. Well, I was wrong about which one was the Eagle Rare. Glass D was the Eagle Rare. I merely said it reminded me of it. It's really sweet. I think of Eagle Rare as being really sweet, a lot of vanilla. And this has vanilla in it, but it also has got some fruit in it. Wow. No. And I didn't think that the Eagle Rare, I actually didn't even think the Eagle Rare would get up this high, right? Before this, in the beginning of this video, I said that I thought it would finish near the bottom, and it finished right in the middle, right? So there you go. Okay, I got to stop right now. I said early in the video that these 2 bottles right here were middling. and that this one was really good. Well, these two middling bottles are still out there, right? They beat these. They beat the Old Fitz 9. They beat the Elijah Craig 18. They even beat the Eagle Rare 10, right? Now that I know what is, well, I don't even know. I don't even want to speculate. Because this sweet one here that doesn't have a lot other than vanilla, I have no idea. Which one is that? I'm going to guess it's the McKinney, the Henry McKenna. I don't know. It could be the weeded bourbon over here. I don't know. I really don't know. So, in third place, this is the one I thought was spicy. It makes me think it's the Four Roses, but I don't know. What am I? Did I get it right? No. See? I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's the Henry McKenna. Henry McKenna in third place. So, the one that I thought was really sweet, but had very little nose, that I just kept moving it up, because I almost put it out in fifth place. And it ended up working its way all the way up to second place. Yes, it is number 3. So that is where our Four Roses fell. I'm really surprised that the Four Roses, I'm not surprised that it doesn't have much nose. I've known that about this bottle. It doesn't have a lot of nose. But I am surprised that it's that sweet. That it's just really, really sweet. Yeah, it's really nice. Great on the palate. Not much on the nose, but it's great on the palate. Wow. Wow, well, I think you can probably figure out what must be our winner here. It's not surprising that this is the bottle that has the strongest nose and that has the strongest palate. This is a fantastic bottle. You know, I bought this actually at the distillery, well, the Louisville location of Bardstown. I was trying out like all of their expensive stuff, right? I was doing a double flight. Had 6 glasses in front of me, and was trying out I had the silver oak up there, and I had this single barrel and that single barrel, and I was trying a bunch of stuff out, and the guy recommended that I throw this weeded bourbon in there, and I think my brother already had the bottle, and I think I might have already tried his bottle. I knew it was good. But anyways, it was in the flight. So I had a flight of everything is like $90 to $170 in this flight. Oh, except for this one, there was a $40 bottle in there. And I thought it was the second best bottle. I thought it was fantastic. And so right there at the Louisville location, I picked up a bottle of this. Why not, right? It's only $40. Yes, indeed. It's number 2. It's amazing. It really is. I thought this would be near the top. I said so. Right? Thought this would be near the top. I didn't necessarily think it would win. To be honest with you, I thought this, by reputation, might win. And obviously it did not. But I'm not shocked that it's here. So, there we go. What did we learn? Well, we learned that the Elijah Craig 18 is not worth buying. At least this single barrel. Now, I have to say this, one little thing, one caveat, is that it is a single barrel. And maybe I just got a bad one. That's possible. But This is probably of all, I've got a number of bottles around here that are $150 plus. Of all of them, this is probably my worst bottle. Of every bottle that I own that cost me $150 or more, this is the worst one. And I kind of suspected that it was bad in comparison to other, right? These are all between $40 and $65. And 4 of the 6 of them beat the Elijah Craig 18. So that's why I wanted to do this video. Think twice about buying Elijah Craig 18. I hate saying that. I've never said that in any video before. What am I going to do, right? I mean, this is an incredibly disappointing result. What else can I say? I am surprised. I am surprised at how good Four Roses did. I'm very surprised. They did a really great job. Henry McKenna even surprised me a little bit. Old Fitz surprised me in a bad way. And to be honest with you, I thought this would be near the top, but I'm not surprised it's the winner. But I didn't think it would win. But there you go. Anyways, so that's my blind for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.